Hello, everyone. Welcome to Background Noise, Episode 1, with my special guests, Allie Mesh at Allie Marie Mesh and Morgan Smith at Lunch Money Momo.
Yeah.
Say hi, guys.
Hey, guys. What's up?
What's poppin'?
Yeah.
We're just going to kind of talk and see where this goes. Mm-hmm. We haven't really developed a specific topic yet. We're just going to kind of go and see what's interesting.
Yeah.
So to start, you guys are both into TikTok, I hear.
Yes.
Addiction is more the term that we like to use.
Yeah.
So, Momo, this is for you. I hear that you are TikTok famous. Tell us about that.
It's more of a semi kind of fame. I'm around 45,000 followers as of right now. But I don't make as much as I did in the summer, which is where I was definitely most active because I was definitely procrastinating doing my summer assignments. And yeah, it just turned into kind of like a grind of just doing TikToks all day and going live and talking with them. It's definitely died down since the school year started, but I've had a couple still pop off, and it's been quite the ride because I don't understand how people find some of my stuff like amusing whatsoever. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what was your reaction to finding out you had how many followers?
Around 45,000.
45,000?
It's insane because that's 45,000 human beings. That's 45,000 times 2, whatever that is. Like hands scrolling through and finding my videos and saying, her eyebrows look weird. I should follow her.
There you go.
That was definitely my rise to fame, is that for the people who do not know, which you most likely don't, my eyebrows are quite thick in the simplest terms. They're just all over the place, and it's definitely been something that I was just born with, and for some reason the TikTok algorithm said, thick brows.
Thick
all right.
brows.
For you it is.
Well, there you go. So, and I also hear that we have a future TikTok star on the rise.
Yes.
At Shrek's Turtleneck. Tell us about that.
Ooh, okay.
I love that hat, by the way.
Me too. Honestly, so good. I was gonna go for Panini Head, but it was taken, so I couldn't do that one. So I just had to, backup plan. But yeah. So I just posted a TikTok like a week ago, and all my TikToks get like 20 likes. Like they don't do good at all, right? But then I posted this one, and it got like 10K views, and it has like 600 likes as of now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let's check.
We're gonna check real quick.
We're gonna
Checking
What's the
our.
one, what didn't you make it kind of just around the crew work day that y'all had at?
Yeah.
Yes.
Checking our TikTok stocks really quick.
Yes.
Yeah,
See how we're
Checking
doing.
to see how the fame is rising as of right now.
Yeah, we were at 668 likes and 10.4 thousand views.
That is amazing.
Yes.
There you go.
10,400 human beings.
That's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think that's insane.
Yeah. So how did the whole TikTok thing start, if you guys know? Because I know it started off as Musical.ly, which was really popular when I was in like middle school.
Right.
And then it died down like freshman year. But then after it got bought out and was renamed TikTok, what brought it back? Do you guys know? Or do you have any theories?
I had a friend who was on there to like watch like the people who were just like being really stupid, like the people who like little kids who were just like Musical.ly, TikTok, like she was on there just to like watch the funny stuff, and she was always showing them to me, and I was like, I'm not gonna download TikTok, I'm gonna get obsessed like I was with Musical.ly. And then I ended up downloading it over the summer, and now I am addicted.
Mm-hmm. With me, I kind of started to see the like fluctuating patterns around like finals, around like the spring semester of my freshman year, whenever people were not exactly doing as much in class. So they say, I have this new like revamped app from Musical.ly, it's called TikTok. So that's whenever like the new TikTok dances, those iconic ones, the really, really like kind of more simpler ones, they would just do that. Yeah, they would do like really, really simple ones kind of just in the corner of a classroom. So all of my friends were starting to do that. So I thought, okay, I've deleted Musical.ly like so many times because I know it took up so much of my storage on my phone. So I said, okay, let's just try it one more time just to make like the little dancing TikToks. And I just like Allie said, over the summer, I just became addicted to it. It was all that I watched in the morning before I went to bed. Whenever I had any sort of free time, it would be just scrolling through the For You page. It's insane.
Yeah, I downloaded TikTok. Ooh, I want to say June or July, because one of my friends was like, "You should get TikTok. You should get TikTok. Everyone's doing it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah." So I got TikTok and I made my account at Slippy Evo, but I've had it since June or July, and I haven't uploaded a thing. I've got like 3 followers, and they were people I told to follow me. Yeah. So I'm kind of famous. Right. Not gonna lie.
On the rise, people.
On the rise.
Yeah, I just gotta stay humble though. So.
Yeah.
Gotta stay humble.
Understandable. You got
Yeah, of course. So yeah, there are a lot of TikTok trends out there.
Definitely.
What is one of the best trends, best/funniest? One of the best/funniest trends that you guys have seen.
Should we say it on 3? 1, 2, 3. Renegade.
Yeah, renegade. Yeah.
It is like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Those or the POVs. There's so many
God.
POVs. Allie is addicted to doing POVs.
I'm addicted. So, like, we're theater kids, right? So the POVs, I love to just, like, cry and, like, make them so over dramatic. Because, like, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but at Tyler.Brash. Okay.
Oh, no. Controversy alert. Please, viewer discretion advised.
Viewer discretion is advised. Controversy alert. He is...
insane.
Yes, that's the correct word for it.
He is psychotic with his POVs. It is almost unsettling to watch at points.
Yes.
And if you know, you know. But if you don't know... just don't bother knowing.
Is that the guy who does the is that the guy I'm thinking of who does the Joker makeup and he yells, or is that not him?
That might be another person.
There's another guy that
sounds like Noen. You know, the guy with like the really weird like middle part hair that's always dyeing it. That sounds more like him. But this dude, he does the most random ones. Like he does one that honestly he would never relate to. Or I'm not discrediting that he won't have this experience, but one of them is like, you find out that your wife who can't have children is pregnant. So then he does the POV. And it's, at the end, he just like stares at the camera and just says, "It's our miracle baby." And then he bites his lip. Which just goes to show how it just goes to nothing whenever you bite your lip and make it like, ah ha ha, it's our miracle baby. Like, stop that. I hate that. And Cody Co, if you guys know who that is, he is a YouTuber who totally trashed him.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just funny. Because, I don't know. It was, quite honestly, the funniest video I'd seen in a while. Because he's just mocking the POV and how just extreme that he goes to it. It's great.
Who's your favorite TikToker?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm trying to think because, there's obviously, like, everyone in the Hype House. Like, Love Anthony and...
He's beautiful.
Of course. All of those E-boys. But I like the cute boys who are funny. Because, sometimes... Because even if those, like, Hype House people try to do something funny, it's all masked behind, like, oh, they're just an E-boy trying to be funny. Like,
exactly.
they don't...
trying to capitalize on the trend.
Exactly. And you're just like, okay, we just want to see you standing around in cool clothes looking like an e-boy. Like, that's just the name that you've made for yourself. So
yeah, come on, that's what we want.
Yeah.
I have decided.
What's the deal?
Yeah. I think my favorite funny TikToker is probably Max Dressler or Tyler Funk.
Okay, Max Dressler, he's gone off really a lot lately. And he deserves the hype because he's the one that, like, mocks the POVs. He's like the Cody Co on TikTok because there's a setting you can do on TikTok where it's called React, where you can put the TikTok on the screen with you. So he acts like he is part of the POV. And he does it with Tyler.Brash's, which is, so he does one of them where Tyler's POV was, you wake up from a coma after 5 years and your boyfriend is visiting you in the hospital.
I already
but
like
then
this.
but then Max turns it into the schizophrenic kid in your math class is just going off again. And it's so funny.
And he's like, Tyler's doing it again.
Yeah, that's my favorite part because he's like, hi, I'm Tyler. And he goes, yes, I know. And he goes, I was your boyfriend for 5 years. And he goes, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. And Tyler just goes, I brought this picture book of like our relationship over the next 5 years. And he goes, no, that's your math textbook. We're in class. And he just starts, Tyler just goes like, this is whenever we went to the beach. This is whenever we... on our first date, and Max just raises his hand and goes, he's doing it again. Why do I always have to take care of him? Can someone else please do this? It's
good.
so funny.
It's really,
That's
really
good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, for those who are listening, if there's any audio cutouts, that means I have gotten too loud. So if I suddenly get really quiet, it's because I have turned down my audio. I am still working out the errors.
Yeah.
So
It's a crash
if
course.
the guests also get a little quiet, that means I've turned them down a little bit. But that's all. Thank you.
It's all for the
Anyway.
sake of you because we don't want to make this
We don't
like
want to
really, really, really loud for you. We want to
Yeah.
make it pretty
We don't
relaxing.
want to. We don't want to blow your eardrums out.
Yeah, of course.
So
Background
we
noise.
want you to come back.
Yes.
So both of y'all also have quite the experience in dance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, indeed.
How long have you guys done dance?
Ali?
So I started dancing when I was like 4, and I did competitive dance for about 9 years. This would have been my 10th year in competitive dance.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I started dancing when I was around 2, and I did it for around 2 years. And I took a break, and I did soccer, I did cheer, I did piano, I did all this stuff. And then I went back into it in around 2nd grade, and I stopped doing it to do school cheer in the summer after 6th grade.
Cool. So what are dance competitions like, Allie? We'll start with you.
Ooh. Okay, so if we're talking like competition mixed with convention is where you go and you take classes like all freaking day and you're exhausted by the end of it, but you just learn combos, which is like 4 to 5, 8 counts of choreography, and you just like go in groups and do it, and it versus you. Words. It makes you more well-rounded within other styles, so like it helps you to see how other choreographers teach rather than just your own at your own dance studio. So at convention you audition the second day, and then they give out scholarships to other conventions. But competition, you have that the night after your first day of convention. So like convention's on like a Saturday, and then that Saturday night you have competition, and they give out adjudications, and usually the scores are like gold, high gold, platinum, double platinum. It kind of depends on the competition.
It's really weird. One of them,
Super
the
weird.
highest one is crystal, or one of them has lightning gold, which you have to pronounce it as lightning gold. Because the announcers can get really extreme because this is their only job. And their only job is to announce awards. And so you gotta add some personality
you gotta get into
it.
it. You gotta have fun.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, competition it's competitive, but I think we were always taught to be like, good job, good luck, so
Very
we weren't
humble.
right. So we won a lot, but it wasn't like we didn't just like win just to win. We like worked really hard for it. Like I spent at least 15 hours a week at the studio.
It's amazing.
At least. So
Interesting. Momo, you've done dance competitions, right?
Yes.
So what are those like for you? Like, what do you think of them?
Well, they're definitely worth the experience because there's so much that goes into it. There's the waking up at God knows when in the morning, around 4:30.
4:30.
Yeah.
4:30 to
4:30.
5 in the morning.
Get up for that grind.
Yeah, and then getting your hair and makeup done. Sometimes the hair is just so complicated. We had to do this thing called a French twist into a bun for a while. Yeah, that and if you're tender-headed, not like me, because over the years that we have had to do it, your head just becomes numb at that point. And me and Allie were on the same team for like 1 to 2 years. And
Oh, wow.
so we got to compete in the same dances, and especially with the studio that we went to, we won't say it due to just privacy. And so whenever you're at a young age, they teach you really complicated, more specifically tap. So our tap dances would dominate. Sorry, my stomach is saying hello. So our tap dances like dominated. That was, yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at the French twist. That's...
Just think of that with so much hair gel and hairspray.
So much hairspray.
You
Holy
just,
crap.
your like your whole body just becomes like, it just reeks of hairspray and the hair gel and all that you use. Those headpieces, you have to be careful with the headpieces because sometimes that can ruin your entire hair.
So you guys have like a whole costume and makeup and all that?
Multiple, and sometimes we have quick changes. Sometimes we have barely any time, especially with company showcases where it's just your dances and we're not in control of the order of the dances, and sometimes they just don't consider that maybe you have a number in between each dance. So it's like,
dang.
Yeah.
Y'all got
it's crazy.
Quick changes too. That's like it's like theater.
Yeah.
So before we move on to that, we'll go the opposite order this time. Momo, what is one of your craziest experiences on a dance competition? Crazy can be interpreted however you want. It can be good or bad.
Goodness gracious.
Interesting. Good question.
Or Allie, if you think of an answer first, you can go.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Mine's more of like a convention based one. So this was my second year at this convention called Nouveau, and it is one of my favorite.
Yes.
It was one of my favorite ones because it had my very favorite choreographer. His name is
Travis
Wall. I love him so much, and I loved being taught by him. And the year previous to it, I had actually won my first scholarship from there. And he handed it to me, and he was like, Morgan, and I just wanted to say, you know my name. You know my name, and you're going to remember that forever. And it's so great. So the year after, we were auditioning with our combo that I actually knew relatively well because we were getting used to, like, the style that they were teaching. Because like Allie said, you get to expand your knowledge on other styles than what you learn at your studio. Like sometimes we'd have like a ballroom class, like literally you'd learn like salsa and stuff like that. So we were learning kind of more like a jazz fusion combo, and the only time I got to do it, we were doing a kick and the girl right next to me, her leg came down and knocked me down. Like her calf like hit my head and I was knocked to the ground. And of course after I get up from there, I'm so frazzled and I'm thinking, where do I go? So I kind of just like started moving around, and we stand in a line after you're done so they can kind of just look at your numbers that you have like taped to what you're wearing. And of course one of the judges just goes, are you okay? And I just go, even though I just wanted to cry because I knew I probably just blew it. So I thought maybe I'll get to go again because it wasn't my fault. Like I was completely spaced from this girl, but the way that her leg came down and hit me was just, I was so frustrated at that point. So, yeah, I didn't get a scholarship that year, and I didn't get another chance to show off my skills, but I thought it was really funny. But also, shout out to Travis Wall. You are my love, and I will forever just... I'm infatuated with your ability.
Travis Wall?
Yes.
Travis Wall, if you're listening, you have some fans. So,
I love you. Please, please.
You.
I want to give you a
applaud
hug
you.
again, and I want to take a picture with you. Also, Michael Domeski from LABM.
Oh my God.
If you ever encounter this... I don't think you remember me, but I was in the California Kisses choral set with the Hawaiian flowers. If you ever remember me, hi, I miss you.
Anyway.
California Kisses.
California Kisses.
Good
The
stuff.
Sophia Lucia
California
line.
Kisses.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy. So, Allie, your turn.
Yeah,
I'm trying
Allie.
to think of something crazy that happened to me. I don't know. It was more like I was definitely used to sleep deprivation.
Oh, God.
Because we'd get up at 4:30,
On
we'd
that
dance
grind.
until like 10 or 11, and then we'd have to go home or go back to our hotel room and shower. So it
Yeah.
would be like 12:30 or 1 before we'd get to bed, and then we'd have to get up at 5 again the next morning.
Yeah, there's just no sleep. I think that's the reason that we're morning people now is because we're so used to getting up so early.
I'm used to, my favorite thing about convention was driving, because like we couldn't afford to stay at a hotel every time we had a convention, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we drive from my house. So I'd get up at like 4:30, get ready, and I get to watch the sunrise on my way to convention. And like that is my favorite thing by far, for sure.
Pretty views. God's really out here painting the skies.
I know.
God's really out here.
You really
God
do
out
be
here.
making
really
this
do
place
be
look
painting
kind of
the
cool,
skies.
though.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Crazy. Something crazy.
You can't think of anything.
Ooh, okay, I got something.
Okay.
So when I was like 5 or 6, it was my first nationals ever. So we went to nationals in Vegas.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
So it was awards, and I was at awards with a senior, like a girl who was on like the elite team. She was old. She was about to graduate.
What grade were you in at this time?
I want to say I was in like 2nd grade ish. I want to say I was like 6 or 7. This was like 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Okay. So I.
Just reminiscing.
So I didn't have a phone like at this point because I had to leave it in the dressing room because we had like a rule that we couldn't bring our phones on stage so we weren't distracted from awards.
Of course.
So I was sitting on stage with like a senior because like we were supposed to like have buddies so we didn't get lost. And my mom couldn't find me for like an hour. We were like running around after awards trying to find my mom and my mom couldn't find me. And yeah, that was probably... I also got lost at recital one time. My mom couldn't find me at recital. This was like a year later.
Oh, no.
I got lost so many times, and my mom freaked out. And it's good stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the stress of losing your parent in a big place.
Mm-hmm.
One of my craziest experiences, not dance related, obviously, because I have never done dance.
Yeah.
But I was, I was younger than 7 because this was before I moved to Aledo. And I was at a Tractor Supply Co. with my dad. We lived on a ranch.
Very nice.
So I was at Tractor Supply Co. and I was looking at all of the toys because as a
There
young...
were toys in a tractor supply company?
Well, I'll explain. So as a young, quote, farm boy, it was just a ranch. We didn't really have all like...
farm boy.
We didn't have like, all the crop and everything. We had like livestock, like cattle and all that. But anyway... I loved...
Literal cowboy. You raise cows, don't you?
Yeah. No, but I loved, like, tractors and all that. And, like, my parents told me that, like, when I was a kid, I used to be able to name, like, almost every model of tractor and stuff. So they had, like, these little, like, model tractors and stuff like that at the Tractor Supply Co. stuff. So I was looking at them and just kind of holding the box and like reading everything on the box. And I was like, I want, but I know I can't have it. And I look up and my dad's gone. And I look around, I'm like, what the heck? This is not right. He was right here with me to my left, and now he's gone. So instead of freaking out and bawling my eyes out or going into the employees only area or just leaving the store and looking for him, which I very likely could have done. I went to the front, the cashier place, and I was like, I lost my dad. And the guy was like, what's his name? And I was like, his name is Ricky Wolf. And he was like, Ricky Wolf, your son is looking for you. And I've never experienced any, like, I didn't know intercoms existed. This was my first experience with an intercom.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that before. And I was so embarrassed because everyone in the store just heard that I lost my dad. And I was like, oh no, my dad's going to kill me.
Yeah.
And he found me and he was like, what? You did that? And I was like, yeah, I just asked him. And he was like, wow. And
I'm so
and I
proud
was like,
to
okay.
ask an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big brain at a young age.
I was like, oh, okay, I don't see the significance. He was like, you'll get it later.
That's so good.
But yeah, so that was a crazy life experience for me.
I love that. Getting lost in a big public place. And it also brings me to ladies. If you ever want to find a positive trait in Riley Wolf, the man who is speaking in this, just know he has great knowledge of tractors. And what else could you want in a man?
What else could you ever want in a man?
If you have good knowledge on tractors, please, we need to find a good pair for Riley. That's just all I wanted to say about that.
The good stuff. Public events though, like big, crazy events. I don't really think I've ever. Last year, I went to HOSA competition, Health Occupational Students of America. Shout out to Miss Metter.
I love you, Miss Metter.
I was doing planned speaking. So what they do is you sign up and they're like, okay, you're in. And you wait. And then HOSA is like, okay, here's your prompt. And they give you some super vague and like open prompt. The prompt last year was define your purpose.
Oh, wow.
And you have to write a 5-minute minimum speech on that. and you can't have like the entire speech written out.
Kind of just
You
like
have to have
extemporaneous. You have to kind of bullet point it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can do it. You can have notes on your phone. You have to show the judges.
Right.
Or you can have note cards, or you can just go from memory. I did like bullet points on my phone.
That's what I would do.
And we got there. It was me and I think one other person from Alito against like 12 to 18 other students in the area. There's no like district by district zone. It goes area to state.
Oh, wow.
For plain speaking, at least. I don't know if that's for everything. Anyway, so it was all the students from the area was quotations. I don't know how big that is. And they all come in, and we're all in this room. They're like, here's how it's going to work. And I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
And they call us out on who's going first, like what the order is. I think I was really early. I was like second.
Oh, wow.
And this was taking place in a college campus down by Sundance Square. I had no idea there was a college campus down there. Anyway, and I finished my speech. It went pretty well. I didn't make it to state. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I walked out of the room, and they don't have signs. And I didn't know where anyone was, but there was a lot of people everywhere. And we all have our unified HOSA uniform. So everyone was wearing the exact same outfit.
Oh, gosh.
And my Leo person went before me, so it was just me in a college campus full of students competing in other stuff other than just plain speaking.
Right.
It's me and then like at least 200 people in this college campus, and I'm looking for Miss Matter and everyone else. And I was so scared. I went down the elevator to the floor we were on, but I didn't know where to go from there. So I just sat down, and I looked around, I looked out the window, and I was like, okay, guys, this isn't funny anymore. You can come out now. So I just kind of sat there on my phone for like 5 minutes, and some kids from another school came out of the elevator, and they sat in my area. And I was like, oh, I gotta go. I did talk to them for a little bit, and then they went somewhere, and I sat there for another 5 minutes in silence looking around, and I got up and I just kind of walked around for like 10 to 15 minutes looking, and I called Miss Metter, and I was like, where are you guys? I waited that long to call Miss Metter, by the way. It didn't cross my mind. Miss Metter is the medical teacher leading us there, by the way.
Where's your bathroom?
Out that door to the left.
I'll be right back.
I gotta go.
And I was so scared out of my mind, so I called her and I was like, where are you? I need help. But I found my way out. I made it to the parking garage, and we were there, and I lived. I survived HOSA area competitions.
Yeah.
That was my crazy experience.
In public.
In public. In public. Well, I mean, it was weird because, like, I've been to bigger public events before. I've gone to Comic-Con for, I think, 2 years now, and I shockingly haven't gotten lost. But also, the Comic-Con is in the convention center, but it's in a very, like, closed-off area. So it's not really that hard to get lost. There's just a lot of people. You can lose a person, but not lose where you are. Other than what my situation was, where I lost my people and my position. But yeah, that's my experience of getting lost. Yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff, honestly.
So, Allie, you just joined theater this year, and you were in our fall production of Pops. What were your thoughts on that? Fun, interesting, learning curve?
Oh, all of those things. It was weird because it was new. Mm-hmm. So I met a lot of new people, and like all at once I was like just totally like blasted with a new environment and everything. Because I auditioned, I was in a regular theater class last year, and I auditioned for productions because Skinner asked me to.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, absolutely, that sounds like a great time. I'll audition anyway, even if I like decide not to do it, I'll still audition. So I auditioned and I made it, and I was like, wow, I didn't think I was going to make it at all. I had like no expectations to making it because it's for like the best of the best theater kids, right?
Yeah.
Because production's
Varsity
one act.
theater.
Varsity theater. So it was like really weird. It would be like running track and like my first year being like on the varsity like starter. It was just really, really weird.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it at all. And then when I auditioned, it literally took me like a week and a half just to realize that like that's kind of where I'm like meant to be. So I quit dance, and I'm the dance captain for the musical.
Yeah.
Dance babe, choreo babe.
Choreo babes.
Choreo babes. Yeah, it's just like, it's definitely like a weird transition going from like people being super like supportive and always being like, hey, that was really good job, and like cheering each other on, to like the environment. It's competitive, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna beat you out for this role. It's rather than that, it's more of like you're worried about yourself.
Yeah, everyone's got to focus on themselves first.
Exactly, before coming together and making it like, because if you don't make character choices for yourself, then others won't be able to make their character choices to fit around, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of just like definitely different than like a team sport like dancing. But I really love the people and I love the activity itself. So I had a good time, and I was expecting to be like a death buddy, and that's it. So it was really weird also having like a bigger role. I played Hannah and Professor McGonagall. If you've seen Puffs, you know what that is. If not, you can watch it on Amazon. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Puffs was definitely, I feel like it was a good introduction for you, because it kind of showed you the peak of, not the peak of theater, but like the max like energy you will output for a show. It shows you like how much you need to put into a show, and it really like, you know, told you like you gotta focus and you gotta commit, because with Jay Finch, not only did I have to watch my lines, my character and all that, I also had to watch my voice, because about 70 to 80% of my lines I was just screaming, which obviously took a toll on my voice. So like I would come home after a dress rehearsal, my mom would be like, how was it? And I'd be like, oh, it was really good. I'm really tired though. I need to go to sleep. And she'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. So I'll make my hot tea with raw or natural, or local honey. Shout out to Allison Kessinger for making sure everyone was drinking tea and honey, and still is. But yeah, so I would drink tea and honey and all that, and I would wake up the next day, and my voice would be very gravelly for the first, 10 minutes of my day. But then overall, it was pretty good. Closer to the end, the last two shows, my voice just said, I'm gonna go. It said, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. And during one of my lines, I screamed it, and my voice just cut out. And I don't think anyone in the audience heard it, except for people in the front two rows. That's okay. It's fine. You win some, you lose some. I would say with theater, the mindset is, I would say it's 40% professionalism, and the other 60% is fun. Because when auditions come around, we don't have a lot of time to be able to help everyone else with their stuff, because obviously you want the role that you want, if that makes sense. So everyone's focused on themselves and getting their own, auditioning to the best of their ability and getting their part. So it gets a little competitive, especially when we decide to do a new show with a smaller cast, because then that means people have to get cut, and no one likes getting cut. Being cut means you obviously are not casted. So that is, it's a big letdown, but also we have to focus on not getting cut. So we're too busy to be okay, yeah, you're doing great. Here's this and this and this. Now, once we get into auditions, for Into the Woods auditions, we have time. We have a lot of time because we've practiced these numbers for the past however many months.
Mm-hmm.
One act is a little different. They just kind of go, here's the script of the show. We're going to put you up on stage. You're going to read these lines, and we'll see how you do. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Okay. So that's how that goes. Moving on to Into the Woods. Obviously, this episode is titled Choreo BABES, and I titled that for a reason, because these two wonderful guests of mine are the choreographers for the Lido High School production of Into the Woods.
Mm-hmm. We are Choreo BABES.
Tell us. They are. Tell us about that. How has that been?
I'd say it was definitely a challenge for me because I didn't get to watch anybody do it last year. Like, I didn't get to get like that learning.
You didn't get to ghost?
Yeah, I didn't get like a head start at all. So I kind of went into it like completely blind, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
We were like, hey, dance girl, teach us a little dance.
And you're like, wait, me?
You know,
we're just not used to having like that kind of authority of being a sophomore and a junior. It's compared to, my experience, I was in the ensemble last year, and Allie had prior commitments to dance, so it was hard to even get into the theater department. But you were in a theater class last year, so you did get to see more of the people around it and how we like to work. So you got to work with Skins and you got to work with Dassinger, our two lovely directors. Yeah. And from that, and also from our prior experience dancing together, it was so much easier with our already built chemistry, and also to rekindle some of this just time that we lost because you've had to move around so much,
Yeah. So, what was creating the dances like? Because I thought about. I don't mean considered. I just thought about, what if I was a choreographer? Mm-hmm. I was like, what would I do? And I was like, oh God, I would have no idea where to even start. So what was the dance creation process like?
I think I've always had a passion for how you improv in theater.
Yeah,
we improv in dance, right? So I've always had I've always been really good at improv because I'm just good at thinking up choreography on the spot. Mm-hmm. So me and Morgan, I hope Skins isn't watching this.
And Morgan. She might.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Me and Morgan are everything good that comes out of our brains comes out the day before.
Or the night before, whenever we're thinking how can I make this better than we've already made it.
Exactly.
So it just kind of happens in the moment?
Yeah. Everything is very we have ideas and everything kind of but all of the final touches, the thing that makes it what it is always comes out the night before, because if you let it sit for too long, you'll start to overthink it and you'll double guess. Question it. Exactly. So if you don't if you plan it too far in advance, then it's almost not natural and real.
And I feel that, because whenever you do, like I said, give yourself to make that choreography and let it kind of sit there, you start to think, oh, I could have made this better, oh, I could have made this better.
Oh yeah,
Whereas,
definitely.
Not exactly right on the spot, but the night before, a couple days beforehand, you think about it and you're thinking in the immediate moment, I like to listen to the music and kind of just improv it around and think, ooh, that would be a good move, and it would look good in unison or in ripples in different groups and stuff like that. So when it all comes together, the harmony that it creates is just surreal to watch whenever it is interpreted on stage with the amazing actors. So
I think Skins would agree with the idea that it's kind of good to have stuff happen in the moment, because I've told that, I've said that to her a couple times, with Jay Finch and Puffs. I was like, I haven't really worked on Jay Finch at home because I just kind of like to see what happens when I'm reading my lines or I'm doing my lines on stage without a script, and I'm moving around. I got my wand and my robe and all that. So yeah, I think deciding stuff in the moment is pretty good overall for theater. The only time I would say it's not is obviously for one act. You definitely want to plan stuff out because the judges are just, watching your every move.
It's definitely more prestigious and more meticulous, I would say.
Yeah, if you breathe in the wrong direction, they're going to note it, Yeah. Not really, I hope. But I mean, you
now
get.
I'm gonna start thinking about that whenever I'm acting. What if I'm breathing in the wrong
What if I'm
direction?
breathing in the wrong? You know, I turn to the left and I go, and then the judge is like, no.
Deduct 2 points.
That's not the script. That's not the script.
Not in the script. Yeah, but I think doing stuff in the moment is a very common but yet necessary thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people in theater, not just at Alita, but a lot of actors and actresses in general, decide character stuff like, in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's not the best way, but I think it's one of the better ways
Right.
to decide stuff. I don't know what would be. I mean, I guess planning is always good,
Right.
but then you always want to change stuff. And I would rather change stuff like after a rehearsal
Yeah.
than have it planned out, do rehearsal, then perform, and change stuff after a performance, If that makes sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's more like if you do see something that just doesn't feel right, then you should have time kind of what we like to do if we want to rework something is do it during kind of our physical warm-up time, is kind of tweak a couple things, make sure everybody knows where they're standing,
Yeah.
adjust maybe a direction or a step just so it looks easier, and it's easier on the actors themselves. Because therefore it looks more aesthetically pleasing on stage to the audience and stuff like that. So we like to look out for that after we see what is created on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I've had some weird, I've gotten so much weird feedback, which is not something I expected. I've gotten, some, oh, I like how this looks. I like how difficult it is, how it's not, super easy.
Right.
But, a lot of people are like, this is way too fast. I'm not going to be able to keep up. And, so many different opinions that it's kind of just, at this point, I'm just kind of, going with what I want to do. And then if Skinner has, something, then I'll switch that.
Change it, yeah.
But it's usually not much. She usually lets us have a lot of creative freedom, which is really nice.
Yeah, you guys are the choreographers. So, I mean, there's a lot of us in the woods. I don't know how many there actually are in the cast.
I want to say it's about 37-ish.
30 to 40?
Yeah, 30 to 40.
Yeah, about 30 to 40 people. So there's definitely going to be a lot of mixed opinions on everything.
Right.
But I feel like, you guys are the ones in power and teaching the dances. So you guys teach you guys teach the way you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the actor's job, to listen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So doing Into the Woods, come see Into the Woods, by the way, January 23rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th.
Yes.
All
23rd, 24th, and 25th is at 7, and the 26th is at 2.
Boom. There you go.
That'd be great.
Come see it. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have an orchestra, right?
It's gonna be so cool. It just brings a whole new element to it because last year in Rock of Ages we had a live band.
We had a band.
And it was insane. It just brings a whole new experience to it because they adapt to our cues. It's just nothing compared to just working with a bunch of tracks. Because the orchestra is just going to be beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
It'll be
yeah.
mesmerizing to the audience.
But we're not even going to get to see them though, because they're going to be in the pit.
They're going to be in the pit.
In the
You can't
orchestra
look down
pit.
in the pit.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Unless you're off stage, I'm just going to be like, wow.
Yeah.
Looking at the violin players.
I mean, obviously at a dress rehearsal, we'll get to see them, but you don't want to break character
Right.
and look. Yeah, for Rock of Ages, oh my gosh, I did not expect to have a live freaking band playing, and that was so cool. I loved being one of the first people to slide on stage. It felt really cool with the band behind me and all of the lights.
And the crazy hair.
Oh, yes.
Tease our hair so much. When I tell you every single night after the show, I would just have my head bobbing in my bathtub, just scrubbing out all of the product that I had put in my hair. It was insane.
Shout out to Lauren Wood every day for doing my hair. And for that one first dress rehearsal where I looked like Syndrome, I actually loved it. Syndrome from Incredibles. The huge, the mountain of hair. That's what I have.
Incrediboy.
Yeah.
Former Incrediboy, now turned Syndrome.
Yeah, but I am so excited to see what this orchestra does. Because I think it's going to sound really good. And I think it's better to have a live band / orchestra playing, because they can, like Momo said, they can adapt to what's going on stage.
Yeah.
So if someone's taking too long in like a pause,
Yes.
the orchestra will know, and they will
Exactly.
wait, and they will wait, and they will, you know, and they'll pick up when they're ready or when they're supposed to. Not to say they don't make mistakes, because everyone does, but these guys are really good at what they do. So I'd expect them to do amazing, just like the band did.
Yeah.
Right.
But of course, everyone does.
God,
Everyone makes
band.
mistakes, and I mean, obviously throughout dress rehearsals, if they make a mistake, you know, they'll note it and everything. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a fun process.
Yeah. God, I love that band because we gave them lines. Like, they
Oh,
got
yeah.
to yell at one of the antagonists saying, like, "You suck, Stacy," or "Jerk." Actually, one of the lead guitarists got to punch
Yeah, they got to stage
one
punch.
of our antagonists, Stacy Jacks. And it was so great.
It
We
was
really got to
so
know the
cool.
guys, and they were just really cool. And hopefully we can do that with the orchestra. Just get to see
Yeah, get to
what kind of
see
people they
them.
are and how this process is going to be for them, much more as it is for us. Because, you know, dress rehearsals are going to be crazy. But we're really going to see how it all comes together, and it's going to be great.
Yeah. So, speaking of staying on topic of Into the Woods, you guys are the leaders of the Tree Nymph Ballet. You guys are
Tree Babes.
the Tree Babes. You guys are the elite,
The Babes troop.
the top notch. What's the term? Like
Trees.
the trees. But you guys are the hand. You guys handpicked the best dancers in the ensemble, and you're like, hey, let's do these dances.
Yeah.
So has that been fun working with like a smaller group?
Yes, it's definitely more intimate and more personal with those girls, and we help extend the storyline and tell the story through our movement. And whenever we're given kind of notes through it, Skinner says how while seeing what's going on stage with the principals, we're also seeing the Tree Ballet kind of interpret what's going on, and it's crazy because it's such a complicated story and so complex, so that way the trees can manage to interpret that movement in such a beautiful way is insane. And I'm so proud of me and Allie's work with them, and I'm so proud of them and how they've overcome all of this.
Yeah. Allie, how do you feel about leading the trees?
I think at first I was a little bit like, whoa, because it's not in the, you know, Sondheim didn't write it into the show. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to go, you know, I mean, you know, whatever,
Yeah, it's
those
a
kind
whole
of
new
things.
thing.
Right, because we added an ensemble, and then we added the ballet ensemble,
Yeah.
which I just wasn't expecting any of that, right?
Mhm.
So it was definitely interesting. It was interesting. At first, I was a little bit like, frazzled about it, and I was like, I don't know how to go about this. I don't know if I want to go about this the more literal way or the more like modern, idealistic,
Yeah.
abstract way, like art. So that's kind of the way that I took it, because that's more my style, is like just very like taking it as like modern and abstract art and just kind of like making it
Putting it into movement.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so I took the words and like just kind of interpreted them with the story, and like I think that was probably the most fun part, is just like being able to express myself through movement, which I've done my whole life. So
Yeah.
getting to do that on a whole new level was super cool.
And
Yeah,
getting to
yeah.
manifest it into these other talented girls, it's
So cool.
It's beautiful seeing what they can do.
Yeah, it sounds like it's awesome. We were doing a full run yesterday, and I was walking backstage, and I saw the Tree Nymph Ballet, like they were surrounding one of the girls, and they were tossing her. Well, I have never seen. I've only
He
seen
wasn't
one.
expecting it.
I've only seen one of the ballet numbers, you know, and I had not seen this one. So I walk up the stairs backstage, and I'm getting into my position, and I see them tossing one of the girls into the air, and I was like, oh my god, is she okay? Is that supposed to happen? I thought she might have fallen, because you know how like cheer, they do the thing where they all like stand,
Yeah.
and they drop the girl and they'll catch her.
Yeah, the baskets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and during like pep rallies when they do that, I'm like, oh, please don't drop anyone. And I saw her name's Elle.
Yes.
I saw Elle get launched into the air, and I was like, oh no. And they caught her, and I was like, ooh. They tossed her again, and I was like, oh my god, no, please.
Yes.
I freaked out for a little bit, but it definitely it looks really cool. I think the audience is gonna get a kick out of it. It's definitely unlike Rock of Ages last year, where you're like, wanting to get up on your feet and yell and cheer and go on with the music and sing along and everything. And then we're doing, into the woods, it's time to go.
More show tuney, more
classical.
Which don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I just think it's funny because it's such a turn from come on, feel the noise, and then
now we're going.
And then we're back to
agony.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be good though. I hope the turnout's good.
Oh, I think it will be.
I think it will be.
I had a dream last night that we had a full house opening night, so I'm really hoping that manifests.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, I'll be really upset.
God would really be out here.
Gave you a
really
is premonition. There's a certain term that means it's like foreshadowing.
I think
foreshadowing means something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't mean something bad.
It's a positive premonition. I know what you're
vision.
trying to say.
It's a vision.
Yes.
There it is. You had a vision of the turnout.
I saw the future.
Yeah, the future.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Allie can see the future.
Allie is That's So Raven. She can see. She has that thing. Whenever you zoom into her eyes, she can see what's going on. Just in case you didn't know.
That's So Raven. That's the old Disney show, right? I remember. How old was I? I was 12, 14, somewhere around there. This was one of my prime time moments of being a kid.
Yeah.
It was summer. It was 2 a.m. and I was laying down in my room. I had my laptop up and my mouse pad next to me, and I was playing Minecraft and all that. It was just me. I was listening to music, and I had That's So Raven on. And for those of you who don't know, my birthday is May 19th, and I think it was That's So Raven. There was a whole episode revolving around the date, May 19th, and I had this surreal moment. I was like, oh my God, that's my birthday. But obviously it was just a day, and there wasn't anything significant, but as a kid, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
They chose my birthday.
Kids do that. Anytime that's significant to them, around their birthday, they're like, oh my God, so this is basically dedicated to me.
I still do that. Somebody posts a YouTube video and I'm like, they posted that on my birthday. This is dedicated
to me. I think it's funny when you're a kid and you're doing math and your name is in a math question. You're like, that's right, guys.
Yeah,
I bought 237 watermelons and gave 123 to my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm that charitable. So that just reflects my character. So why don't you go on a date with me? That's how you should pick up girls. Hey, do you remember that question
elementary school?
In the ACT about Riley? Yeah. He was a pretty charitable guy. So why don't I take you out to dinner on Saturday?
I can be a little charitable towards you. I can take you on a date. I can buy you some dinner, just like in the math question. That's good. I wanna see someone use an ACT question as a pickup line.
All those ACT, SAT, illegal memes that are all over Twitter.
I think it's so funny because I know, I get it, it's confidential information, you can't let that out.
It doesn't mean anything to us. I'm
During
sorry.
the test, they're like, you are not to talk about the test after, it has been taken and you are dismissed. And the moment you step out,
you're like, dude, what about the moon?
Guys, what are these bugs or what are constants,
Ambiverts? What?
Yeah.
I posted a TikTok. Yes, I posted a TikTok about me having introvert and extroverted tendencies, and literally one of the top comments is just saying what, and I'm like, that's from the PSAT that I literally took a couple months ago. So much for confidential. I'm gonna report you.
Yeah, I walked into my fourth period. I walked into my fourth period and I was looking at Twitter and it was all just blowing up, and I have all of these memes that I only have 3. 2 of them I made, 1 of them I retweeted, right. And I was like, full moon exists, nocturnal pollinators, it's got DJ Khaled on the Batmobile or something,
yes.
Or what's the bike, I just think it's really funny that everyone collectively comes together and they're just like, yeah, that test was weird. Anyway, it's really funny. I saw one tweet. I was scrolling through the PSAT memes thing, And one of them was like, I love how right after when you take the PSAT, you can tell who all's from Texas when,
because
because
the
all
different
the questions are the
exactly.
same.
And sometimes it's different dates, so some people don't understand, and then they take it like literally 2 weeks later, and they're like, "Oh, I get it now."
Yeah, some schools do it late, some schools do it early. I made one, that nocturnal pollinators thing I just talked about. That was my first ever PSAT meme I made, and I was telling all my friends, I was like, guys, I made this. It's so funny. I feel so good about it. And my friend was like, that's not funny. And I was like, no, it's funny. Trust me, guys. I promise it's funny. And he was like, I've already seen it. It's not funny. And I was like, please, just laugh, please.
Please validate my
I thought
humor.
it was good. I think that was my most famous tweet. Let me look. I'm a little famous. A little famous, not to.
He's a tweeter star.
I get like 5 likes on my tweets.
Let's see.
My
No, I got 11. My most famous tweet was I said, whoever has my voodoo doll, please hold my hand.
I love that one. I think I may have liked or retweeted, or I should, like right now, if I didn't.
I got 8. I got 8 retweets.
Yes.
And 16 likes, and most of them are not even from people I follow.
Well, that's perfect. So you're basically
I'm blown up. I'm blown up.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I love. Honestly, I'm kind of excited to go to college, but also I don't know if it's any different from how it is now.
Right.
If that makes sense.
If it's just high school again.
I know the structure is going to be very different.
Right.
But like the experiences with the other people, because I like everyone coming together to make fun of a test they just took idea, but I don't want to go to college and it's like everyone shuts up, keeps your head down, and you pass your classes, get your degree, and then graduate. I obviously want it to be fun, but I don't want it to just be some, sit down, take notes, get up, go home, homework, and the cycle repeats.
Yeah.
What are y'all excited for college? I know you still have a ways to go.
I was going to say.
Allie and I we're juniors, so we still have a year.
Yeah.
But, still, thoughts?
I'm not excited for college. I think the thing I'm more excited about is to move out and to start doing things on my own.
Right.
To get out of I hate routine. So I like having a schedule and I like knowing when to go where, all those kind of things. But I like to plan things out. But I hate doing the same thing daily. Mm-hmm. I do like having a schedule, but I hate routine. So high school's been really getting to me lately because I just don't like getting up, going to school, doing it the same thing over and over and over again. That's why I look forward to theater, because it's not the same thing every day.
Right.
Of course. Yeah, something different happens every time.
Exactly. But I think that's probably why I'm not as excited about college. I'm excited to be done with college.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Mama, thoughts?
And for me, I'm not exactly sure, because I do want to go to college and I want to find out what I'm really passionate about, and I want to get a good job coming out of it and hopefully pursue just a career that I can take lifelong. But also at the same time, I've seen a couple people from our school district do this. They take a gap year and they travel, and just from that gap year you can also find your purpose, and that may just be what I want to do, and that's honestly something I have been considering lately. So it just depends on how the rest of high school goes, because I still have my junior and senior year to kind of decide what I end up wanting to do in the future.
Yeah. I think a gap year is a good idea. Yeah. We're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
We have about a minute 30.
Mm-hmm. This has been so much fun.
This has been really fun.
I don't know why I was nervous about this, because it's just like
just
having
talking.
a conversation just with a mic in front of you.
I was a little nervous to start it. My first idea when I wanted to do the podcast, I didn't even know that I wanted to do a podcast specifically. I was just kind of one day I was sitting there at my computer and I was like, man, I wish I could just record myself talking to friends just for an hour, just straight, and put it on YouTube or Spotify or something. So I I just kind of let that idea sit for like a week or so, a month, I don't know how long. And one day, my friend Brayton, he was absent, and he's my only friend that I sit with at lunch. So I went to Miss Metter's room, and I had lunch with her, and I talked about how I was like, man, I think it would be so cool to do a podcast. And she was like, you should, you have the voice for it. And I was like, really?
That's what I realized throughout this, because whenever you be talking, I just realized, like, this is literally, like, if I just, like, covered, like, my eyes, I would think, oh, yeah, this is literally something that I would listen to. Yeah. It's crazy.
Thank you. I don't know, I never thought about it that way. I've always been into recording stuff. I recorded a couple videos of me, like, just playing games with some of my internet friends, or just myself. And I think it's fun. I sit down, I take the footage, and I edit it. It takes me like 4 hours, and I sift through an entire hour of footage. Yeah. And I put it on YouTube. It gets like 40 views. That's it. But I just think it's fun, the whole process. Yeah. I lose motivation editing though, which is why I think a podcast is better, because all you have to do is talk and then save the file and then upload it to Spotify or YouTube or wherever you want to put it. So I hit my friend Claire Kennedy up, and I was like, hey, Claire, I want to do a podcast, but I need a logo, and I know that's your thing. So, and she was like, yeah, I would love to. So she was like, just hit me up whenever you have time, and we'll make your logo. So I FaceTimed her. It was like a Friday night, I think. It was like 12 in the morning. And I sat down with like a pen and paper, and she was like, okay, do you have any ideas? And I was like, okay, here it is. And I drew a little circle, and I had background noise written in it. And I originally wanted the eye to be the microphone icon, right, but I couldn't find a good microphone icon to fit. So Claire was like, what if I did this? And she clicked it, and she put it in the background, and then she went, and she blew it up to where it covered the whole circle. And that's what you guys are looking at right now. I just gestured to the laptop. The laptop is a black screen. Sorry.
I see it. I really see it.
Those of you looking at the logo, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Right. No, I'm not crazy. But yeah, so we made the logo. It's been sitting in my photo albums for however long I'm looking right now, trying to find it. It's buried here. It's been here since November.
Nice.
But I've been like planning it out, and I waited till I originally wanted to record before, but it worked out better to record after Christmas. Because now that we have 2 mics, you can hear our lovely guests much better, and you can hear me much better, and the sound, I hope it's not as much as an echo. We're in my game room. We're sitting at a coffee table in my game room. That's the studio.
As of right now.
But yeah, we showed up, got some donuts. I got my empty bottle of orange juice. I drank in like the first 10 minutes of the recording.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's been really fun. And
I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm gonna be sitting there one day, and I'll be like, I wonder how my podcast is doing. It'll say like 45 views, and I'll be like, wow.
Literally me with my TikTok.
And I won't, and you don't even have to like watch the whole thing. It'll just, as long as the view count goes up by 1, I'm like, oh, no way.
You're like, people listen. People are listening to my voice.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to this whole thing. I hope to have you guys here again, like listening. I hope to have more viewers and all that.
More guests like us.
Yeah, more guests like Momo and Allie.
Yes.
If you want to shout yourselves out, plug your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever you'd like.
All of my...
I think I got it right at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. All of my social media is the same. It's at Lunch Money Momo. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm going to spell my name for you because I got a whack name. Okay, so my Instagram is at Allymeche, ALLYMECHE, and my TikTok is at Shreks.turtleneck.
There you go.
So follow me on TikTok because I want to get TikTok famous. That's it. Okay.
It's going to be so good. Thank you, guys.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out here. I'm like 10 minutes away, but thank you so much for coming out here anyways.
Yes, it's been great.
And yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. Thank you guys so much for listening, if you made it this far. And I would love to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.